And welcome back to the Cinema Corner Men podcast with your hosts, my girlfriend Jay Mara, and myself, Jacob.
Hello.
All right. Today we are reviewing Elysium. Came out. I didn't even look it up when it came out. I think 2007 ish time frame. 2013 maybe. I forget.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, spoiler warning as usual. Go watch the movie. We'll wait for you to come back and we'll start talking after that.
It was 2013.
13. I knew it was 13. That's what I said. All right. Elysium was directed by Neill Blomkamp. It had Matt Damon, Jodie Foster, Sharlto Copley, bunch of amazing actors in it, which I think definitely helped it out, this movie. Getting right into it. I'll go first today. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
No way. Me too.
There you have it.
Yeah.
I guess we'll get into why we thought that was. Any theme takeaways that you had from this?
The only thing I would say is everyone's life is just as important. Yeah, like equally important, I suppose. That's all I got from it.
Sure. Yeah. That struggle between like a lower and an upper class. It seemed like a greed being only a temporary pleasure was kind of a prevalent thing. Anybody that was like greedy in this movie seemed to not last very long.
That is true.
Yeah. Overall, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, that was it.
So, for the good section, I thought this movie had some decent world building, right? Like the things that it did focus on, they felt like very real.
I agree. I think, especially his life. So Max is the main character.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the most real thing that I felt, because they went through like his childhood, explained where he came from, what he wanted out of life, where he wanted to go. Like they took us through his life, and I think that made it probably the realest thing out of the entire movie.
Yeah, for sure. I agree completely. Yeah, I like that. I like how it would kind of make sense, if all the rich people could pay to just completely leave Earth. Like some of the things they would say, how like the air is not as good, like all that just felt real. It felt like somebody really thought it through, and the actors did a great job as well. Matt Damon obviously did really good. I think Wagnar Moura did great. The spider, I liked him.
Oh, I like Spider. I was so afraid he was going to die. I'm glad he didn't die. But I was afraid he was going to the whole time. It's like, right. This movie would be like exponentially more shocking if he died, but he didn't die. So.
Right. Yes. I did like the visuals as well. I thought it was real cool, especially on Earth. You had like it was like this cool dynamic between these super advanced robots and like exoskeletons and all this like crazy futuristic stuff, and then you also had this dirty, rundown, dusty background of a world. It really, I don't know, something about that contrast. I really liked it.
It confused me a lot. Like it made it harder for me to settle into the movie just because It was so different. My brain was just like, what is happening? Like, yeah, because all of the dirt and the dust, and I think they were in LA.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure.
I'm not sure either, but that's what I thought.
But and then they had all these robots, and then I was just like, wait, what? I mean, I just couldn't settle into it. But it was cool to see.
Right. I agree completely. The soundtrack I thought was pretty good. It was gritty and futuristic, which is like basically what the movie was going for. And I didn't think it distracted at all. Yeah, it fit.
I never thought about it at all. Like, yeah. I just felt it. So I definitely think that.
Yeah, to me that's what the soundtrack should be. I think that's perfect.
Mhm.
So I thought that was good.
I really liked the action scenes. I think those were interesting to watch, just
Right. Yeah.
because, especially after he got his like I can't even say that word, exoskeleton.
So skeleton.
After he got that um, surgically implanted in him, I think that like those scenes were really cool.
Right. Yeah. I'll circle back around to that. Um, but yeah, some of them were very cool. Yes, I did like how he got like stronger with it with the suit on. It was a good addition to me. I thought.
Hmm.
I guess unrelated to that, I liked how they weave the different languages into different worlds. Like how they spoke Spanish on um, Earth, and then they only spoke like French and English on Elysium. Like it was a more sophisticated language, which was a sort of an interesting, you know, if you're not really looking for it, you don't really notice it. But to me, it adds that little like tinge of sophistication or maybe piousness. I don't know if that's a word. Pompish people, you know.
Right.
That's what I felt whenever I heard the different languages being used.
I could see that. I did like the different languages though. I think
Uh-huh.
there were like 4 or 5. They just kept bringing out new languages, and I was like, okay, keep them coming. That was cool though.
Mhm. Yep. That's about all I have for the good. I guess my favorite scenes. Next thing up. What is your favorite scene in this?
Um, I don't really have many favorite scenes. For me, I feel like there weren't that many to choose from in terms of ones that stuck out too much. But I did like the scene where he got stuck in that radiation room, just because like the anticipation of him going in there. I was like, yep, he's got to go in there. Um, and once he was, I don't know. I think that probably stuck out to me the most out of all the scenes.
Hmm. Yep. My favorite scene was the heist scene where they stole Carlisle's memories, where
Mm.
Max stole them. I like that one. Like I said, it was all that advanced robot exoskeleton with the dusty world, and it was like this shootout. And I thought the pacing was really nice in the whole scene.
Oh,
If I
but
had to choose a scene,
Julio died.
yeah, yeah. If I had to choose a scene, that would be the one I would choose. But like you said, it's hard to say it was really a favorite scene. Just sort of stood out above the others.
Yeah, it was a good action scene. I have to admit that.
Yes.
Um, because everyone was just dropping dead left and right.
Yeah.
So that was really a really good scene. And then, yeah, I can agree with that. I think out of everyone though, like Agent Kruger, or I don't even know what his name was.
Yeah.
Well, Kruger?
Yeah.
He was probably my favorite character.
The bad guy?
Yeah, just because I felt like he was unpredictable. Like, where the heck did he come from? Like, what is his story? And he just kept killing everyone. He was horrible. Like,
Hmm.
but he just kept coming out of nowhere and like, quote unquote, saving the bad guy's day. Um, like anytime she needed someone, she would call him, and I'm just like, who is this guy? Like, where did all the metal in their bodies come from? Like, what is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. But and then his face got reconstructed. I was like, ho, yeah, this character
That
is
was an
cool.
intense scene, yeah.
Yeah, I like that character a lot. But I also want to mention the good, um,
Oh,
Frey, Alice Braga. Absolutely love her. The character was okay, but like the actress, she's amazing. If you haven't seen Queen of the South, I would recommend seeing it because it's one of those shows that I could probably rewatch. But she's amazing in that, and I was really shocked to see her in this movie. Um,
so you just
just
like
because,
Alice Braga. You don't like her character in this movie.
no, Alice Braga, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I guess for favorite characters in this movie, I'd probably go with either Julio. I really liked Julio. Um, or the president. I know that sounds odd,
He
but
was in
I
the
don't know
movie for
why.
like 2 seconds.
I know. I agree. I just like the way he was played. I like the way he looked, how he tried to take charge. I don't know. It felt very real to me, even though he was like a barely a tertiary character.
I love how they brought him out at the end. Like he's so important. He's got to come and save the day. Like, go sit down. Yeah. That's what I thought when I saw him.
Yep. That's about all I have though for the good.
So the bad, I thought that overall, I feel like it could have used a deeper meaning or just something that would stick to me more. Like it just didn't stick out to me as much as I wanted it to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
I was thinking about this for a while, and I was like, why? Because I feel the same way, and I was like, why is that? What is it that I would want to avoid if I was writing this story? And what I came up with was that like the story, obviously, it's nothing new. The base story, we've heard it 1,000 times. There's, you know, this guy like poor area, he's trying to get to rich area. He's going on an adventure to get there, and he like makes it at the end, and then dies or something. I don't know. I feel like whenever I was like listening to the story, it was I literally thought like, okay, well, this is gonna happen next, and it did. And I was like, all right, well, this is gonna happen next, and it did. Yeah. It was just a story we heard 1,000 times, which is not a terrible thing, right? I don't think that's a terrible thing. The problem was it didn't have any other. There was like a lot of missed opportunities for other things that could keep us interested. Like for example, like the world. Like I feel like it should have focused more on Elysium. For example, like the only thing that it really went into detail about were the med bays on Elysium, which were a very cool thing. But I feel like if a society got to the point where they were living in space on this satellite, open to the air, with med bays that could just heal you instantly, like there has to be so much other technology that would be so cool on there. I feel like it should have gone into that more, or something else to keep us like really into it.
Okay, so the divide between the rich and poor should have just been like a base, like an underlying like starting point, but then they should have added more to keep us interested. I completely agree. I think that another thing that would have been really good to add on to this movie was the relationship between Max and Frey. Like, I think that
it's kind of lackluster.
Like it could have been so much more like dynamic and passionate and crazy. Like, I think that, what if the daughter was his? Like, I don't know, just like something, more between them, because yes, okay, they knew each other as kids, he loved her, blah blah, and then it was over. Like there was nothing. And then
it made the ending like like you're gonna end your life for this random kid that told you a story that you liked. I mean,
right. And what, you've been secretly in love with her mom? Is that what it is? Like you haven't seen her for how long, and then all of a sudden you just die? Like what? No. So I think they could have added on top of the overall, rich and poor.
Some sort of like emotional connection with the characters.
Yeah.
They were just kind of very bland all around.
Like if he died, just imagine if he fell in love with her and this whole romantic story came and then he died. Like I would be more emotional after that.
Yes, I agree.
So. Yeah,
that was my main con to the whole thing.
Same. It just could have been a little bit more.
This is the part where I was going to circle back around from what you're saying about the action scenes. I felt like this is probably just a subjective thing about me. I felt like they were way too shaky.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say that. Like I couldn't focus. My eyes were like shake. I was like, it was blurring almost, and I was like, what the heck?
I could kind of tell that Max was like super strong because of the stuff he would do, like the ripping the head off the robot and stuff. Like, all right, yeah, he's super strong to be able to do that, but then like he would fight and the camera would just shake so much that, like you said, it would just disorient me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wish it was kind of like real, like imagine if it was like real, like steady, and then he like punched something and it just shook like the camera itself. Like I would be like, oh my god, he just rocked that thing. But
I think that's what they were going for. Like they're trying to show like his speed and his like agility, but
right.
I think it would have been better if it wasn't as shaky during the action.
Yeah.
Like
it's something that I noticed while I was watching it. You know, stuff
Same.
like that you'll kind of like realize after the fact. But this was like, as I was like, man, I can't tell what's going on right now.
And I was like, am I zoning out? Like what's going on? Like the camera just kept blurring, and I was like, okay, is he going fast? What's happening? Yeah, I didn't love that.
And then the only other thing I didn't like was for me, it was the villains. I didn't feel like they were really. To me, I didn't understand Delacourt was my main problem. The lady, I didn't understand. It's like she was basically already in charge. It seemed like from the start.
Right.
So I don't understand what she was trying to do. Like it didn't make sense to me. Like why did she hate the people from Earth so much? Fuck.
I don't know.
Like to the point where she kills like 70 of them and doesn't even blink an eye.
Right. Like we could have used a little bit of backstory on her.
Right, exactly. Backstory somewhere on these characters, and the same thing with Kruger. Like, what is his motive? Like, is he?
Well, yeah. Where did he come from?
He's the closest one to having a to me. Like the way I just thought about him the whole way is he was just insane and like using Elysium like politicians as an excuse to kill people. But you know that's just kind of like implied all around.
Right.
So. Yeah, it was. They didn't really stick for me. It felt kind of odd.
I think it was odd. I think just because we didn't really know why they were doing what they were doing.
Exactly.
It's just, yeah, it could have been executed a little bit better, just a little bit.
Something. Oh, I'm gonna circle back to the good because I forgot about this until just now. One of my favorite parts in it was they mentioned like whenever they're talking about her extending his contract, she said it would extend for 200 years. And at the time when I first heard it, I was like, well, what does he care if it's extended 200 years? Like he'll be dead. And then I realized that comment alone implied that they basically don't die, the rich people. And I mean, you know, what could really kill them when they have a med bay that heals, you know, stage 4 cancer instantly? You know, like what is it that's gonna, unless they just, you know, get shot like the guy did in the movie.
Right.
So that was that. I forgot to say it in the good. That was a very good thing that I didn't acknowledge. So.
Wait, why is that good?
To me, that it's that show don't tell. Like they're implying that they live forever with just that one sentence, and then whenever they explain the med bays and stuff, but they don't just straight up say, you know, she could have said, I know you're going to be here for at least another 400 years. Here, I'll extend your contract 200 years. Like that to me is how I would honestly expect this movie to say something like that.
Oh, I didn't get that. When she said that, like I heard her and I processed it, but I thought it was just because after I saw, you know, his face get blown off and then him coming back, I thought it was because she knew that he couldn't die. So.
Oh no, yeah. It's just that the med bays can fix like absolutely everything.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Doubling the lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. It will probably even more. Like I said, what kills you other than getting shot, you know?
Yeah.
It fixes everything. So I thought that was a cool, sort of subtle thing. And that was the only example of it I saw in the whole movie. But yeah, that's pretty much. That's why I gave it a 6 out of 10. It was, you know, it kept me, you know, interested. It was like an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes. And it kept me, you know, interested enough. Definitely wouldn't watch it again, but.
I agree. I was interested. I didn't check the time at all, but I rewatch a lot of movies, and I can I can say I won't be rewatching this movie. It wasn't bad. It was just, I seen it, so
And
that's
you've
it.
seen the same story in so many other things.
Right, like nothing stuck out enough for me or connected with me emotionally for me to be like, oh, I want to feel that again. Let me watch this movie. There's nothing like that. But it was okay. I gave it a 6 too. I was contemplating between 6 and 7 because I felt bad that it was a 6, but I was like, no, it's a 6. It's a 6. But I did want to say that at the beginning of the movie, when we first saw the Elysium, the space station, like
Talk about when he was a kid.
no, when they first went up close and shot it,
Okay.
and you could like see inside, like for a split second, it reminded me of Interstellar when they showed that home base, like all the way at the end of the movie. For a split second, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that reminds me of Interstellar."
That's why I said that was the cool part of this movie, and they just turned it into basically a rich neighborhood instead of this amazing thing.
Right, like we didn't explore it.
Exactly.
That would have been fun.
I agree completely.
That's all.
Yep, that's all I got. 6 out of 10 from both of us. Watch at your own risk, I guess. Anyway, thanks y'all for listening. Let us know how we can improve, what movie we should watch next, anything like that. Yeah, see you next week.